Yeah.
Because last time we streamed, it looked absolutely fine on my phone, and then looked atrocious
For chat.
for chat.
Here, I'll join real quick on my phone and see what's up.
Oh, no, looks beautiful.
Nice.
Yeah, what a great shot. That's amazing. Perfect.
Pinging
Alright.
or Discord. Blaming you still.
That's okay. You can blame me.
Yeah, alright.
It'll just be a blame circle, and you can blame me, and I'll blame Lauren.
Yeah.
And Lauren, you can blame Darby. And Darby,
Yeah.
you can blame Dylan.
Yeah,
Got it? Got it? Okay, cool, cool.
That's the strat.
That's why we're late. It's Dylan's fault.
It's Dylan.
Yeah.
This is the part where you blame Lauren.
Yeah, I was about to say, we all just immediately
Yeah.
dropped the
Yeah,
circle.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yo, Ozzy, thank you so much for the gift. We super appreciate you. It's so nice to see everyone. Welcome to the party. We're a little late on our live stream today. We had a couple of things that I thought were gonna be quick things. And then we all got very, very confused. But it's okay. We made it out the other side. Patterning can be difficult sometimes, because not only do we have to select all the right colors, but we also have to make sure that the pattern and design itself is sitting on a piece in a way that's going to look right when it's done and also do justice to the character. And that can be difficult sometimes. But hey, we're making it work. We're making it happen. It is a uncharacteristically gorgeous Wednesday afternoon, which is exciting. And we are doing our once weekly Wednesday live stream. I'm so happy to be here. Yo, Hex, welcome to the party. It's so nice to see you. Mwah.
I already got a lot of people joining in over on YouTube and Twitch. Cat FNAF Girl's here. Happy's here.
Yo.
Spruce Beans is here. And they said they sent us a photo on Instagram of the 3 vases they bought. And also, thank you, Dylan.
Yay.
Thank you.
Yeah, Dylan is our ever-talented bass guy. Shout out. I think I want this to be fuchsia. Fuchsia. This is also going to be fuchsia. I'm not entirely sure I know how to spell fuchsia correctly. I didn't realize that.
F-U-S-C-H-I-A.
Ooh, yeah, you were right. Yep. That harness top is adorable. Thank you. I got it at oh gosh, a Pride fair, a little booth, and I custom ordered it because it was just so cute. And it's a little star. It's so cute, and it also has a little star on the back too. I really like it. I like it. It's one of my favorite purchases I've made. I just forget that it exists, and I don't end up wearing it, but I remembered it this morning because I got this new cute pair of pants. Look at these super cute pants I got. Look at, and they're like fun, and they're bell-bottomy. I know that YouTube and Twitch can see me super well, but TikTok is struggling. They don't have the full view. But I got these super cute pants the other day at Hot Topic. I had to order them in because Hot Topic didn't have my size available. But I was wearing these and I'm like, how can I style this in a fun way? And I remember this top. I remember this cute top and the cute little harnessy thing. And then I had to stare at myself in the mirror this morning and remember how to put it on. Because it was just a jumble of straps and metal loops and stuff. And I'm like, what? How do I do this? I had to pull up an old picture of myself wearing it. I'm like, how did I do that? It was on backwards. It was on upside down. Probably took me 15 minutes, 20 minutes to put it on, right? And then I remembered why I don't wear it so often.
To get ready this morning.
Oh my god, you're so pretty. 90 people watching this, 101 people, and you're one of them. That's so cool. That is so cool.
Happy says they want those pants but in pink and that you always look so cool.
Thank you.
Cat FNAF Girl's gonna go play Mario Kart.
Cool.
have so much
Who
fun.
is your little guy
yeah, who
in
do you
Mario
play
Kart?
as? And then I hope they're still
Oh,
here.
Aaron, thank you for
Untitled
the gift. I super appreciate it.
Untitled Mutt says, "Heyo, need to head to therapy in like 5 minutes. Wanted to
Shout
pop
out.
in and say hi. I'll be back later. Also, question: have y'all ever been to TFF? And would you ever go? I know it's a bit far."
Texas Furry Fiesta is one that we want to go to. We intended to apply for their 2025 con, but found out way too late that they opened their applications incredibly fucking early. So we didn't actually end up getting able to apply or being able to apply because they opened their applications, gosh, what, in September or something?
Mhm.
And we went to apply and they'd been closed for many moons. And I'm like, shit. So we didn't end up getting to apply, but now we know for next year, and we do intend to apply for next year. But we're not going to Texas Furry Fiesta, but what we are going is to Stratusfur, and that is in Houston, Texas, in June, at the beginning of June. We're very excited. We've never been to Texas before, and we're super pumped to be able to see it for the first time.
I'm gonna get a hat.
Yes, that is Cafe. Should come to Fernal Equinox 2026. I've heard good things. I've heard good things. Did you ever come to Pittsburgh? I love Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh is absolutely one of my favorite cities, and we are going to be vending at Anthrocon this summer as well. This one is going to be long fuchsia.
Man, these eyeblacks had a rough day. I'm biased, but Texas is great, says Eureka. I can't wait to go. I'm so excited.
Yeah, no, other than, I think the thing I'm nervous the most about is I've been told it is really warm. And I don't do well with like a bunch of sun. I'm incredibly pasty and I do not tan. And so sun isn't something that's particularly nice to me. And then I've also heard tale of large bug, and I'm not a fan of large bug.
Okay, who handles that if we encounter large bug?
I can handle it, I
Okay,
just will
'cause
complain
I feel
about
like
it the
you
whole time.
are better at that than I am.
I like bug of normal size, and I feel like
I don't like any of it.
some of them are just too big. Oh. Okay, there we go. Yes, right now I am working on the ears for this beautiful kitty cat. I'm really excited. It's gonna turn out pretty darn cute, I think. These are gonna be white minky on the inside. I think I'm just gonna do a solid piece of white minky.
Said it will be very warm, but the Stratosphere Hotel is like all cooled inside, and most of the con is all inside. So
Yeah, that is one thing I've noticed about traveling to places where it is freakishly warm. We're in Washington State, and so it is relatively moderate here. But one thing I've noticed going to freakishly warm places is they got the AC system on lock. They've nailed it. They've nailed it. Shout out to AC systems in hot climates.
And now that Washington just keeps getting hotter and hotter every year, and we don't have that infrastructure set in place, it sucks.
Hey, as an aspiring fursuit maker, I had a few questions. If you guys were willing to answer, go ahead. Go ahead. Do you plan on doing a tutorial on how to do the back of your bases? Yes, we actually have done these tutorials. We have them listed up for sale on our Patreon store. We host monthly fursuit making classes live on our Patreon. It's called Fursuit University. And then past recordings of said streams are all listed for sale up on our Patreon store. You can buy them individually, which is pretty cool. Yeah, I highly recommend. It's great information. Classes are anywhere from like an hour to 2 hours long. And I do a little slideshow presentation where we go over all of the details about the individual topic. And then once we finish up the slideshow, then I do a live demo most of the time. Do y'all have a duct tape dummy collection? No, the only duct tape dummies I think we have right now are my duct tape dummy that we made for a tutorial video a while back. and then 2 client duct tape dummies that we have yet to work on their suits. But when we like finish up a project, we just toss out the duct tape dummy. Do you have any suggestions for good quality but really affordable makers? Not off the top of my head, but I highly recommend checking out the Dealer's Den. You can get really good prices on previously owned suits on there. And then on top of that, I would recommend checking out Fursuit Review, because Fursuit Review, you can look into reviews done by buyers of other fursuit makers. Do you guys sell bases? We do. We sell bases on our Etsy store.
Need a shirt that says I love AC? I'll
I
figure out
love
if I need
AC.
that shirt soon. I don't know yet. I question mark AC. It's my shirt.
I'm not sure about
I don't
AC. I have mixed feelings
I've
about
never
AC.
been.
Well, are you talking about AC the convention, or AC as like a heating and cooling concept?
I thought they were talking about the convention.
Could be.
Okay.
It could go either way, because we were talking about our excitement
Yeah.
in regards to air conditioning.
Spaced on that. What happened to these?
Do you take commission orders, and how much do they cost? Because I would love to know if you do. So we do take commissions. We are not currently open for commissions at this time. After we finish our current round of clients, we're actually planning on taking a bit of a commission break and going into making some educational content for a while before circling back maybe to commissions. Our heads start at $5,000 US, and the price will go up with the complexity of your project. And then Digigrade full suits start at $10,000 US and go up with the complexity of your project. We do on our website have a price calculator tool where you can plug in the details of your character and get like a rough estimate on how much it'll cost. It's not an official quote. We don't do official quotes until the month before we open commissions, but that'll give you like a rough idea of about how much your project would cost.
Anthrocon terrifies me. I'm too scared to do it ever, vending or attending. You'd be fine, happy. You got it.
Yeah, no, honestly, you do just fine.
I mean, you were set up far before we were at Denver. So.
You got that shit on lock, my friend.
Had time to come help us. It's just so big. Yeah, it's going to be a lot of people. I'm pretty excited, though.
I think the nice thing about Anthrocon in specific is the fact that while it is incredibly big, the space is also like proportionally large. And so it definitely, like, especially in like the general con space, I will say during like opening day on like the Dealer's Den and stuff, it is pretty crazy in there. But in general in this con space, because it is so large, I don't ever feel as though it's like uncomfortably crowded, even though the attendance is quite significant. I feel like it's decently spread out, and people also like enjoy Anthrocon like within the city of Pittsburgh as well, so people aren't just all spending time in the convention space either.
$80 degrees in Houston area right now. Warm weather, my beloved. I mean, we're not far off. We have this massive heat
Yeah,
wave
we
here
got
right
like
now.
a weird heat wave out of nowhere.
68 to 70 right now.
Huh? I'm sorry, I don't... Oh my gosh, someone asked a question. Is it true that you bullied a kid into changing their Sona? Okay, this was years ago, and that's not what happened. I had someone who I believe was like 17 at the time made a suit that was a copy of my character Atlas in the face especially. They changed how the body looked, but in the face it was like a carbon copy of all the facial designs, except instead of a dog it was a cat. I approached them and I'm like, hey, can you change this? And they kind of freaked out, and it all was resolved, and they were fine, and we talked it out, and they're a very talented maker now, and they're doing great things, and they learned their lesson, and blah blah blah, and we had a conversation, and it was all cool now. But that was the situation, and it all ended up well in the end, and we're all happy-go-lucky, hunky-dory. We're good.
Bullied someone to changing their character.
Gosh,
It's crazy.
how long ago was that? That was like January or early months in like 2022. So gosh, like
Jeez.
3 years ago.
It's been a minute.
No, and it's like, it's one of those things where I've had long discussions with other people that have like similar platforms and similarly popular characters, and it's like, as I've grown up, it's like, it's one of those things where if somebody makes a copycat suit of one of my characters, or like, it's like, it's not something I really care about anymore, because at the end of the day, it's like, how does that hurt me? You know, I've become like more involved in the furry side within like my company, and less involved in like the social aspects of furry and like the attachment to my characters. And my characters are more like a part of my company more than they are like an intense emotional connection like to like me in a sense. I don't know if that makes sense, but it's like I'm on the internet. My characters are popular. We have a popular platform. People are going to make suits that look like my characters or are my characters. And at the end of the day, it's like, I think it did hurt my feelings like 3 years ago. It's like, oh, this is my precious little creature, and it was kind of knocked off. And since then, I've kind of disconnected from that. It's like, if someone were to make a carbon copy of one of my characters into like a suit today, I probably wouldn't have anything to say about it. You know, it's like, whatever, you know, if you want to do that, whatever floats your boat and calls you captain. I just would think that if you're gonna invest money or spend all the time to make a costume, I just assume that you would want something that is special and unique to you. But yeah, no, it's just one of those things. It is what it is. I've learned a lot, I've grown a lot, I've changed a lot. The situation ended with virtual handshaking and apologies, and it was fine.
Oh, what a time.
Throwbacks. Yeah, I wasn't ignoring your question. I'm sorry if it seemed that way. It's just difficult for me to operate a razor blade and like read comments at the same time. I apologize. I gotta really pay attention to one of those things at a time.
Skulldog says, hi, how are you? We're doing great. How are you, Skulldog?
So many comments. I'm so sorry. I really apologize if I miss you. If you have a comment or a question that you would really like us to see, and I am not seeing it on my end because TikTok chat goes way faster and I am far more easily distractible than Dylan, hop on over to Twitch or hop on over to YouTube. Those are going to be spaces where it is a little more chill, a little less crazy commenting, and Dylan is babysitting the comments over there so he can actually direct me to any comments necessary. I'm used to people ignoring their comments when they're guilty. No, I'm just using a device that could chop off fleshy bits if I'm not really, really careful. I'm glad that you asked. I would just recommend in the future being just a little more like gentle about it, and just not assume that just because I'm not responding to your comment, or if someone else is not responding to their comment, that they're like inherently guilty or something. Some of us like don't see comments. There's also other times where, and this wasn't the case here, but I've had comments in the past where people have asked questions, and I don't have comment filters hooked up to TikTok, but TikTok has its own comment filters built in, and that will just grab comments and you will see them as sent on your end, but I can't see them. And I'll have people be like, why are you ignoring my question? I'm like, I didn't see any question from you. And so, like I said, always the best way to get our attention is on Twitch and YouTube, because those comments are less insane. But yeah, I'm glad that you asked. Thank you for asking. I think that rumor is one that kind of got out of hand, and especially as like the years passed and there's been less information, and it's like I haven't talked about it since. It's just one of those things. But yeah, no, live and learn, grow up, move on. I've become a different and better person, and I continue to do so every single day.
Andy the Goober's back.
Dude, the goob.
What up, Goob?
Do you just do ears? I unfortunately don't. If you like these ears that we're wearing on stream, these are done by, oh my god, it escapes me, Anthroaesthetics. They're on Twitter. And they do occasional drops on their Etsy, but more so they're vending at cons, and so they prepare a bunch of stuff for cons. That's where we pick up our ears, is at conventions. But they do, like I said, occasional drops on their Etsy. They're Anthroaesthetics. Is that made on your Toonie feline base? It is. It is. For those of you asking questions about prices, let me take a sip of my water. My mouth is crazy dry. One moment. My pronouns are she, her, or they, them. So you were half right. So our head prices, heads alone, start at 5,000 US dollars and go up in price with the complexity of the character. And then full body costumes start at $10,000, and that's digigrade. Start at $10,000 and go up with the complexity of the character as well. Ignore the random hate comments, you're amazing. I actually get like a lot of joy out of people being mean because it is really funny.
Hello, Gambos Fox. Definitely came over to the right spot.
Yeah. How much is the minimum monthly payment for one of your suits if you have payment plans? We do have payment plans. Generally, I'm pretty flexible. I do require 30% of the total cost down up front, and that is non-refundable because we use that to, you know, like cover our time that we've invested as well as cover the cost of getting materials in and stuff. Beyond that, it really depends. With pre-made suits, I'm a little stricter. You kind of have to be within like 3 to 4 months, I think is what I allow for pre-made suits. And I only allow pre-made suits to go on payment plans if they are sold online or at like the very tail end of conventions. And if we don't have an upcoming con, because if I'm selling them at conventions, I have to do paid in full. But for custom suits, depending on the timeline in which I'd start your suit or work on your suit, I am more flexible for longer payment plans, but unfortunately, I can't do anything like crazy long because PayPal has, the way their payment system is set up is it takes bites every single time you make a payment, and the more payments you make, the more bites they take. So if you were to pay 8 payments, or let's make the numbers nice and round, it's $10,000, and you were to make $10,000 payments to fulfill this, and that's excluding tax and all that stuff, PayPal would end up taking more in fees than if you made one $10,000 payment, if that makes sense.
Excited to see y'all at Stratosphere. Hope y'all making TFF next year. It's cooler that time of year. TFS is also fun at the beginning of August. Yeah, it'll be nice to get out to Texas and meet you, Eureka.
What are you guys on Twitch? So on Twitch and on YouTube and every other platform, we are Spilt Grape Soda.
Cali Kid Lex is in the chat. Gambos Fox asks, how do you guys get your suits looking so clean? I've got the shape down with my bucket heads, but your shave jobs and bases look so much more professional. Time, patience, practice. That's about it.
Yeah, we've actually been working through on our Patreon a bunch of different classes about how we do our heads. And you'd think that the key to getting a smooth shave was like just in the way that you shaved it, but that's not necessarily true. It's how you glue it that makes your ability to have a smooth shave realistic. It's about how you sew it that makes your ability to have a smooth shave realistic. And of course, it's about how you glue it too. And then how you fix it up afterwards. And it's as much prep work as it is the shave and the cleanup work that goes into making it look very, very nice. What are the 2 gray shades of fur used on the suit in the back? That is charcoal and silver, I believe. Both of them are from Howl Fabrics.
Happy says, the way y'all taught me to glue has improved my shave job so much. I loved that Fursuit class.
Oh, I'm so glad. I have so much fun teaching my classes. I always hope that people are able to gain useful information from them.
What are some unique sonas you've created? I really love the craftsmanship.
Oh, thank you. That I've created? Gosh, I think the only character that I own that I specifically have created is actually Grape. Beyond that, like, I've purchased characters from other designers. Oops, hang on. We have someone trying to scam people.
Looks like I need to attend some classes.
Hang on. We've got someone pretending to be me and trying to scam people.
That's pretty funny.
Alright, there we go.
Where did you say they were available? Patreon. Patreon / Spill Grape Soda. That's where you can find all of our previous classes, individually sold for $50, or if you sign up for the Fursuit University tier, you get an invite link once a month to a live class, as well as all the other Patreon benefits, like a monthly pattern and all that stuff.
Yeah, we had, this month's pattern was a super cute pair of hand paws. I don't think they're out right now, but you're just gonna have to take my word for it. They are very, very cute. That's the pattern that Patreon got this month. I'm never sure month to month what the pattern will be. I am backburner working on a pair of a design for like rodent style feet paws. And that's kind of like a slow burn because it is kind of a funky, unique pattern. That's what I'm working on right now, but we'll see how that pans out. Hopefully it pans out well.
Are we going to talk about trolling kids on Roblox again like we did 2 weeks ago? Hey, we can, but as long as it's like not too mean, it's gotta be a little funny. Can you buy the bases hollowed out? Sorry, it's Troll City. No worries. We don't offer carved bases at this moment, but potentially in the future, who knows?
Yeah, it's so tricky because one, Etsy's way to set that up is just broken on their end. We've put in like reports about it of the ability to add on to a listing, like carving out, and it's tricky because it's about setting up the stock to apply to the other existing stock and having it as an add-on that they can choose within that listing. It's just like broken and it just doesn't work, even though all like the bones are there for it to work. So that just doesn't work, and that's what we kind of hit with our roadblock when we started trying to figure that out. Beyond that though, it's like I'm not sure how much that I would charge for that, because it is kind of time consuming, and I think to make it like hourly worth my while, I think I would have to charge probably like $60. And I'm not sure if someone would pay like $60 to get a head base carved out.
Curious if you made any tutorials about foam casting bases. We don't have any. Well, somebody just sent us $20 on
What?
PayPal? On PayPal.
It's Squarespace order.
Okay, cool.
I'm like,
what?
Huh? How'd they get our PayPal?
Have you ever made any tutorial about foam casting bases? We don't have a tutorial on that up yet or anything, but we'd like to get our process a little more finalized and nailed down, get some like humidity control, make sure we can keep the chemicals the same temperature more consistently. And then once we kind of got all the numbers a little bit more down to a science and the way we like it, we'll try to do a live class on that, or at least get a video made or something. But I do all the base casting, or most of the base casting in the office, so if you have any questions, I would love to help.
Unbothered did not get banned. Unbothered just got bored and left. Not even a dedicated hater. For shame, for shame.
I'd pay $60 for that.
I know there's definitely some people that would, and don't get me wrong, it is like an in-demand item. It's just tricky though, because I'm the only one in the office that like carves the head bases, and I'm trying to teach my staff, but it's kind of a slow burn process. So we're working on it. It's just tough because I'm like so busy every single day. My schedule's like really packed, and so it's like I have to determine if I have enough time to like add that into my schedule, because I do know that a lot of people want it and our bases are very popular, and so we're working that out. We're working it out.
Yeah, it's kind of tough to, if if a whole bunch of people bought them and it's like we come in and you want to work on a pre-made or do something like that, and it's like, hey, we have 12 carved head bases that need to go out. It's like, oof,
Do you
that's a
ever
bad day.
teach? I'm disabled and looking for a job I can do at home. I do classes, but they are on a Patreon tier. They're on our $50 Fursuit University tier. If you don't want to pay for a revolving membership and you're just interested in like specific classes from us, we do have the classes, the past recordings of the classes available for purchase on the Patreon store. So that way you can like pick and choose like exactly what you'd like to learn for like a more specific like educational experience for yourself. That being said, you absolutely do not need to pay for tutorials from us to like start learning how to make fursuits. There is so much free information out there, and I really encourage you to start with consuming the free information that's already available. YouTube is a wonderful resource. So definitely look up how to do different things. I also recommend, like, even if you are very passionate about specifically purchasing our classes, I wish upon you that you do not just learn from us. There are so many different ways to make fursuits. There is no right way to make a fursuit because it is such a complicated process with so many different approaches to it. I really encourage you to learn how to do different aspects of a suit by watching multiple makers do the same things and figuring out what works best for your particular style that you want to articulate, right? And by consuming the process of many different creators, you're going to be able to figure out what works best for you and the way that you want to make suits. So highly recommend starting there with free info, and then from there moving into paying for more specific classes and tutorials from me or even from other makers. And I would not shy away from paying for tutorials, but like further down your educational line, I would say, is probably the most cost-effective way to do stuff, because I've learned like the coolest stuff that I know from paying for tutorials from other people.
Is this your full-time jobs? If so, would you say it's worth it? I'm in the process of thinking on making this something I spend more time on. Well, it's a little bit different perspectives for both of us. If you were in my position and you open up the Indeed app and you meet a new friend that seems chill, that's willing to offer you a job, and it all lines up, yeah, I don't really know why you would want to do that. It's much better than like working at Safeway or something, in my opinion. Not to knock any Safeway workers, just I have more fun doing this myself. And then, so like, yeah, if that was the position you find yourself in, that there's a fursuit maker around you that's willing to hire you and pick you up off the street, but I wouldn't bank on that. That doesn't happen very often.
Yeah, it's probably pretty unlikely.
And even if it's, ooh, I want to make fursuits and potentially spend more time on this, I would definitely suggest going into it as more of like learning a new skill, hobby, make suits for you and your friends kind of thing, before getting into it as like, I want to make a ton of money off of the fursuit making industry, because it can be difficult.
Yeah, there's a lot that goes into running a business and running it right. That is just so much more. It's so much more than just working a 9-to-5 job where you go during your scheduled hours and then you go home afterwards. It definitely requires you to be incredibly self-motivated. It requires you to learn a lot of stuff, like even outside of your specific niche. Taxes are so fucking complicated for no goddamn reason. So that is something that you need to pay. I mourn every time tax season comes around and I see artists post on Twitter that they owe tens of thousands of dollars and they had no idea because they just didn't know how to pay their taxes correctly, right? So you have to really get familiar with taxes and get a good accountant as well, right? There's a lot of upfront costs when starting a business. It's not cheap to start a business. I would recommend starting this as a like little side gig, little hobby thing, while working a full-time job that can support you entirely. Then work on just building your audience with fursuit making, and then you will know that it is time to make fursuit making your full-time gig when every single time you go into work, you feel as though you're wasting your time there, because had you been at home making fursuits, you would be making more money. That is the transitionary period of, oh shit, I'm wasting my time at my 9 to 5 because I could be better off doing my side gig. That's the transitionary period of where you quit your real person job and 100% move into your eggs in your fursuit making basket. But that's long-winded. It takes a long time.
Are the ears mandatory staff uniform? Absolutely. I mean, honestly, I'm gonna complain about showing up and getting to be a little cat boy. Like, come on, life could be worse.
Cat boy now.
Life could be worse. I'm very lucky I'm able to do this full time, but it is definitely hard to run your own business. Yeah, the strat is just to have somebody else do all the hard work and then show up later. I got some of the courses. They are useful. Some of the earlier ones, the screen recording is hard to see. Zoom is tricky to work with also for IT people in my experience. Yeah, Zoom isn't my favorite piece of software, but it works.
Zoom is Zoom. We even pay for like the upgraded nice membership for like better camera quality and resolution and stuff, and sometimes that just doesn't work.
Are people allowed to come check out or see the Spill Grape Soda Studio? We prefer if you did not.
Do not come to my house.
Yeah. And there's nothing against it. You know, it's just safety concerns and such. We don't want strangers showing up at our office. A lot of furries go sprinting into running a business, and that's how we end up with seeing those terrifying 200 commission long queues. Yup. You just make sure you're doing things at a good pace, smart. Take care of yourself.
I think that's the hard thing to recognize as well, is the hard truth is just because you are the most talented furry artist out there, whether that be like digital drawing or you're the best fursuit maker in the world, that doesn't necessarily mean that you should like make it your job, right? That doesn't mean that you should like make it your business, because making artwork or making fursuits is one thing, but being accountable to your clients over long periods of time and running a company is a completely separate beast. And it can be really, really difficult, especially when you're young and starting your business and you're like super talented, right? And a bunch of people are really excited to commission you, and you have your prices set and you're charging, let's say $4,000 for a full body fursuit, right? And you have 20 people that come to you and they're like, I am willing to pay you $4,000 for a full body fursuit now. It can be really hard for someone who's like never had that type of like attention, or is very, very young and has like a difficult like time conceptualizing how long something is going to take. It's really hard for a lot of young new businesses to turn 20 people away trying to like shove $4,000 into their wallet, you know? And I think that is what gets a lot of makers into a lot of businesses in furry, that, I mean, that's like the artistic community that I'm involved in. It's like, it's what gets artists and fursuit makers in this community like into a hole that they just can't climb out of, which is really fucking sad to see people who are really talented that bit off more than they could chew and are just stuck in a hole that they are perpetually climbing out of.
Hello, Camilio. Glad you're here. Chaotic Chaos says, how did others in your team get hired? Woke up, turned in an application, told Sarah I played Viego, and the rest is history.
I hire based on vibes, and I probably interviewed a little less than a dozen people, probably like 10 people or so. and I hired 2 out of the 10 because they gave me the sickest vibes. It's worked out so far.
And Sarah was switching to support at that time. I was playing jungle.
It worked
out. You get the
Match
clash
made
teams
in,
going.
Match made in League of Legends 7.
Yep. Which would be... I'm gonna go Ionia. That's kind of just everything goes on there. I like that place.
How do you make the foam bases? They're so smooth. Do you buy them or make them? Dylan, take it away.
I make them. It's a lot of fun. Although, it can be irritating as well, though. As much as it is fun to play with the chemicals and, you know, to put on the suit and all that stuff, like, you got to be careful. These are dangerous chemicals to work with, and you need to make sure that, like, you're okay with sometimes your bases not turning out how you want them to. We've been trying to transition into longer days of casting, but less days of casting, so my hands can have a little bit of a break from being like super dry. And so I'll come in and do a full day of casting, sometimes 2 full days of casting, and it's just, it is frustrating when you've pulled like 20-30 bases and 15 to 20 of them are not what you wanted, and there's days that, you know, 28 out of 30 are perfect, or 30 out of 30 are perfect, and there's other days that 10 out of 30 are perfect, and you kind of just got to figure out why and keep working through it. And as weather changes and humidity changes, it'll keep changing your numbers, and so just kind of vibe with it until we get a more locked up, like, humidity temperature controlled system for it.
Yeah, because these chemicals are very, very sensitive to changes in temperature and changes in humidity. By a few degrees and like a few percent can really throw off your entire day. We have a dehumidifier in the office, and our office is temperature controlled, but even then, that's not enough.
What materials, the pre-made heads, are they foam? Yep, they're foam. BJB TC266.
Shout out to our homies at BJB.
Do you guys glue in the eyes before or after the furring, says Vitson?
Before. But makers do it both way. I used to do it after, now I do it before. It's really super duper like personal preference and what your process looks like. Estella, thank you for the finger heart. We super appreciate you. I wish I could set it up that, like, I got audio alerts for GIFs on TikTok. Because
oh, look into that.
I miss them. I miss them because I'm messing with stuff, I'm working, and I just can't see them.
Yeah, I'll get that done this week. Get all of our Twitch alerts and TikTok alerts and stuff set up.
Yeah, we gotta figure out why they've like changed their mind about the fact that we can access like restream and stuff.
Yeah,
with TikTok.
yeah.
That's like weird.
We were running the TikTok. First and foremost, TikTok Live is like the Live Center app doesn't exist for Mac yet.
Yep.
It's a Windows only program.
Just Windows.
And so we have Macs in the office. And so we can't get the TikTok Live Center, but what we can do is have TikTok get a stream key from TikTok to put into Streamlabs, and then run it through like StreamLabs, Stream Elements, whatever, OBS. And then once we're there, you then have to apply for a TikTok Live license, which randomly gets revoked all the time.
Not because of any sort of like
Yeah, you're not
violations
banned,
or
you're not-
anything. Obviously, we're streaming on TikTok right now. I'm just having to use my phone, and it just says, maybe actually we have to think about letting you use a stream key to stream from your computer.
Yeah,
like,
because
if you're gonna say that we can't stream from the computer, what's the difference in streaming from my phone? Like, how does that just ban me, right?
Yeah.
If you have to think about it, why didn't
if you're
you
gonna
just ban
revoke
me?
our stream key, just ban me. TikTok, don't ban us. But yeah, so we've had to do all these like workarounds, and then the last 2 weeks, every time I go to stream, it says my live access has been revoked right as I'm ready to start the stream, and I hit reapply, and it says give us 1 business day, and well, you guys have to watch from the phone. I can't spawn the stream key. Love your videos. Oh, thank you so much. Oh, I'm gonna try, but this is gonna be tough. Kujira Kita Hakyoku?
It's probably better than I could do.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Kujira Kita Hakuyu. Maybe. Is it possible for me to find a job like this? How would I go about it? No.
I'm gonna say the
Like-
chances are probably
yeah,
like
like-
slim to near impossible.
Impossible? No, I did it. It happens. Once. But, like, I wouldn't go into it like, that's what I'm going to do later. And if this is something that you really are passionate about, you do want to do, I would highly suggest just honing your craft and your art and working on your own skills before diving into it as a huge money maker opportunity.
Yeah, I feel like there's this misconception that like because fursuits cost so much money, fursuit makers are like making a lot of money, and that is not the case. I could absolutely be making more money right now utilizing my degree than I am being a self-employed artist.
Mm-hmm.
But I like it, so that's what I'm gonna do.
How long does a commission normally take? I mean, this last cycle has been a little tough because of like robbery and stuff. We got,
I'd say
robbed.
usually about a year, but we're trying to make that shorter.
yeah. Not trying to sound dumb. How long is a business day? 8 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And business days are usually considered like weekdays. Right? So if you see
Also-
like shipping takes 3 to 5 business days, that's going to be 3 to 5 days that are occurring Monday through Friday, right? So if you ordered on like a Friday, that counts as one business day, and then Saturday, Sunday would not count as business days most generally. And then Monday would be your second business day, if that makes sense.
Where do you guys get your fursuit eyeliner? Sorry for all the questions. No, don't apologize. We love answering questions. That's what we're here for, to assist you guys.
Yeah, our fursuit eyeliner is just like a stiffened felt. We get it off of Amazon. Amazon. What type of ears do you guys make, if any? So we do not make these headband ears. These headband ears are made by Anthro Aesthetics. Mwah, mwah. I love them. They're wonderful. They're incredibly talented. Maybe someday we'll look into like making ears, but it's one of those things that's kind of out of our wheelhouse right now. We focus on like more cartoony style stuff with our suits, and these headband ears definitely fall further into the like more realistic style with the airbrushing and all of that. Airbrushing is not something that we do in this office, and I would really like to make ears at some point down the line, but that's just not something that we're currently working on. But thank you for asking.
Pon Pon's back in chat, says, hey guys.
Hello.
Hello, Pon Pon. Are you live on TikTok, they ask?
We are. We are.
Although I
mean-
would recommend staying on YouTube.
Yeah.
It's
You get a better
got a better
view.
screen, better view, and we had to switch back to mobile camera for TikTok due to stream key reasons. So
It's
it's
not
gonna be a little
great.
bit better from YouTube.
Jacob says, I don't like furry stuff. No offense, but your lives are, oh no, it's running away. Your lives are so calming. Also, the room looks so cozy. Thank you, I super appreciate it. We try to articulate a chill ass vibe. How do you make headband ears? I have no idea, I did not make these.
Dang, we're up at 30 on YouTube and Twitch.
Ooh.
Everybody on TikTok, come on over to YouTube and Twitch. Spilled Grape Soda on both those platforms. Better view, better camera, more calm chat, fun people in chat. Come hang out. Also, likes, follows, very appreciated. Watch my videos, I work so hard.
He does, he works very hard.
Alrighty, YouTube it is. Sick. Thank you, Bon Bon.
Yo,
Shout out to the
Jacob,
real
thank you
one.
for the gift. I super appreciate it. All right, hey.
Dang, we already got less than an hour.
I've got Minky Peace, if
We've been streaming for
anybody wants to
48
do that.
minutes?
Yeah, I don't know, it's kind of flown past.
That's crazy. It feels like 15 minutes. I was able to repatch the paint that I spilt on my fursuit head.
Oh, I
Had some
remember
scraps
this.
of fur fabric left over, and I had to stitch it, ushering a butterfly style. Hey,
Oh my
I'm glad
gosh.
it worked out.
I'm so happy that worked out. I remember you from, I think it was the last stream, and you're like, can you get paint out of a fursuit? I'm like, if it's acrylic, probably. And you're like, it's not acrylic. I'm like, ooh. I'm glad that it all worked out in the end.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to you. Being innovative in your way of solving problems.
The studio looks amazing, and you guys are so friendly. If you guys ever need more workers, I volunteer. Thank you, Bon Bon. Much appreciated. We are not in the market right now for more people, but it is appreciated. Probably at some point within the next few months of our streams, we should probably give them the office tour that we've been promising before we leave this office.
Probably, eventually, we should do that.
But, you know, we said we'll show it to you guys when it's finished, and we're leaving before it's finished, so we didn't lie, technically. But no, we should do that.
I just feel like we always say, it's like, yeah, you know, when we get it cleaned up, we'll do the office tour, and then it's just in a perpetual state of, like, a little bit of disarray.
Viva756 says, hey guys, I love y'all's vibe. I was wondering how many fursuit heads you do at a time. Depends on what we're working on and stuff. But
yeah, like right now we've got what, 1, 4, 5 suits kind of actively in the works.
Taquito says, hello Taquito.
Hello. Dude, I fucking love taquitos.
You guys moving to a bigger space or a smaller space?
Bigger.
Bigger. We're running out. We need more fun toys. Have you ever made a full Mano Kit fursuit before?
I've never made a Mano Kit, but I'd really like to.
Hello,
I
Pine
think
for Thought.
They're pretty cute.
How's your last weekend been, Pine for Thought? Do anything fun?
Do you have any exciting plans for the weekend, Dylan?
Oh no. No. I'm just gonna, this weekend's gonna be an experience. So I'm just gonna sit in my room.
Well, I hope that works out for you.
Yep.
We can play video games because I also don't have any plans this weekend.
Somehow, which it won't because we only have it for 2 days, if the weather stays nice. I don't know. It is fun walking around Ruston. I'm like 10 minutes away.
I like
walking,
going
so.
and walking down the water or like longboarding down the water
Mhm.
and looking for seals.
Yeah.
They're pretty cute.
It's a lot of fun. This was a great last week. Went to Leavenworth with my brother. That is so
Cool.
fun. I love Leavenworth.
It's been a hot second since I've been up in Leavenworth.
It's been a long time for me as
The
well.
last time I was there was like a bomb threat, and that was pretty crazy. Then we went home.
Massive storm tonight. Yep. All the hot air that's come up is doing its thing. And it's gonna
Yeah, I've heard what, dime-sized hail?
dime-sized hail.
That's crazy.
Consistent lightning strikes, thunderstorms. And they say like potentially deadly lightning strikes throughout the area.
That is so scary. I'm struggling with the page link, but what is your guys' price range for future reference? So our prices start at 5,000 USD for a head, and that goes up with the complexity of your project. And then our Digigrade full suits start at 10,000 USD and go up with the complexity of your project. And everything else is somewhere in between, but I do not remember the exact prices off the top of my head.
Is that a lion head? You duct taping? That's such an awesome autocorrect. I'm not gonna say it. But that's so good, Pon. Don't worry, you're totally fine. That's awesome.
so fucking funny.
I thought you were just yelling at me for a
That's
second. I was like, whoa,
awesome.
Pon.
Chill.
Oh, that's so funny, dude. You're good.
No, this is actually going to be a snow leopard by the time I'm done with it. But it does kind of look like a lion. It's got those ears.
use duct tape and correct to that. That is awesome.
That's so funny. Ah. Okay, thank you so much. I don't think I can afford that, but in the future, I'd love to. We are definitely makers on the higher end of the price range, but there is so many different makers in the fandom that are all crazy talented, who have unique styles, and that are at a variety of price points. And so I encourage you to take a look and find other makers. Check out the Dealer's Den. That's a really great place to like see like pre-owned suits if you're looking to pick up maybe a pre-owned suit. There's also new suits on the Dealer's Den as well. That's a really great place, I think, to discover new makers that you might not otherwise know about because they are selling off their pre-mades on the Dealer's Den. And then with that, I also highly recommend checking out Fursuit Review because that is a website where people go in and write about their experience with other fursuit makers. And so you can browse on the Fursuit Review and see if anything tickles your fancy.
What type of tape do you use, and how does it rip so easy?
Uh,
Or shredded.
Yeah, so this is just very normal duct tape and it rips easy because we're beefed.
It's extremely touristy in Leavenworth now. My brother was very sad because he said all the fun things he used to love were gone.
Aw,
Devoid of joy were the words he used.
damn.
It was still pretty fun though. I got a book about endangered birds, flying insects, and bats.
Hell yeah. Big
Is the
fan
hat shop
of
there?
endangered birds.
As long as Leavenworth has the hat shop, we're chilling. That's what matters. That's a fun spot. And they spell it silly, like shopping.
I think that one is still there.
Perfect.
All right, there is our long ficha.
We'll be heading out in about 45 minutes, Pon. So if you're back here before then, we will see you. And if not, we'll see you next week.
Yeah. We are live every single week from 2:30 to 4:30 Pacific Standard Time on Wednesdays. Yeah, so we might make headband ears down the line. I don't have any like current set in stone plans for that, but maybe eventually.
You guys ever done a dragon fursuit?
Yeah, I've done a few like Dutch angel dragons, and then I've done one like sea dragon.
When you guys started, did you have any inspiration by any other fursuit makers?
I don't think I was inspired necessarily by a specific maker. I was just inspired by just the craft in general because it was just so neat and so multifaceted.
Taquito's wondering if it's a kitty that you're taping up right now.
Yeah, this is a snow leopard. Okay, sick.
It's
There
always
are
good to
no
pet lots of dogs, Pine for
fish
thought.
pieces.
I hope there was plenty of dogs for you in Leavenworth.
Dude, I love like petting dogs.
Mhm.
Like I go on
Mhm.
walk, I'm going through like Puyallup, there's someone with a really cute dog. I'm like, can I pet your dog?
And that's about all the time I need with the dog.
Right.
Personally.
I like living vicariously through other people with their dogs. I don't think I would want to own a dog, but I do love dogs, just other people's dogs.
I love the leopard gecko you guys did for ANW 23.
That was a good
That
one.
was a fun one, yeah. What was the other website you recommended besides the Dealer's Den?
Fursuit Review is a really good one for just browsing fursuit makers and people's experience with them. Oops. It's gonna make us do a little captcha thing on TikTok. There we go.
You guys have any advice on creating 3-tipped wings?
That is very specific. I do not. No.
I would look at how people on YouTube make wings and then try out maybe a couple different styles, I guess, or how to fit your own style into it. Best of luck.
pattern off and it split somewhere. And then I went to go tape it and I'm like, where the hell did it split? Slowly but surely. Go. You really got to make sure as you're patterning stuff to reinforce all your little seams with the tape, because the last thing you want when you're working on a pattern is for it to fall apart, because it's really hard to put it back together. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Gorgeous, gorgeous girls. Hello.
What did you guys think you'd be doing when you were younger? Did you think you'd be making animal costumes for a living? Brother,
No.
I didn't think I'd be making animal costumes 3 years ago.
When I was really, really young, I wanted to be an astronaut. I went through a lot of phases as a kid. I wanted to be an astronaut. After I realized that probably was not a realistic choice, I wanted to, oh gosh. I think it was a choice as I got into like middle school, early high school. I think the first thing that I was like super serious about was I wanted to be a published author, and so I wrote a lot of like books and stuff, and I like connected with a bunch of authors who like tutored me and everything, and then I wanted to be on the radio and be like a radio host, and then after that I got into college and then thought I wanted to work at a zoo of some kind or like a wildlife preserve and educate people on creatures. And then I started making suits in college and like throughout college. I actually started making them at the end of my high school career. And then I continued making them more in college as a way to get me through college. And it was towards the end of college where I realized I should probably start taking this seriously because it kind of took off. And it was probably, gosh, halfway through college where I thought I might be doing fursuits for a living.
Yeah, I played music my whole life growing up as a kid, and did that for a while as a teenager and into my young adult years. It was fun, good times. Just like any other long-haired kid, I wanted to be a guitarist, and you end up as a drummer. So that's how
Which
it
I think
works.
is like objectively cooler.
Yeah, I did it purely for marketability. Like, I could play the guitar, but I've been playing drums longer. I'm better at drums, and there's way less drummers in the world. I can go post a new ad tomorrow and find a band.
Hell yeah.
I'm good on that. Music industry was experience, especially in the local little metal scene I was in. But we got to do cool stuff, shot some music videos, recorded an album, went on a tour, made good money, playing shows every weekend. It was sick.
No, I think we should jam together. I think it'd
Yeah.
be fun.
I'm down.
Slightly adjusting the pattern back here and like where it connects.
What type of music do you guys like? I like pretty much anything. There is like my general rule, which is no country, but even
There's
then,
even exceptions to that rule.
there are exceptions to that rule. Yeah. Like, I mean, if anybody is trying to like disrespect Johnny Cash or something, like,
what? What's some advice for beginner makers? I want to make my own suits.
Cadenza's here. Hi, Cadenza.
Hi, Cadenza. Welcome to the party. I think my best advice for beginner makers is spend a lot of time consuming the free information that already exists in the world. I think there is so much value in learning from your peers because that is what makes fursuit making in general like so cool, is the fact that the industry is like rapidly evolving because of the fact that technology is evolving and furries are latching on to that evolution in technology and applying new things to their work like all the time. So I think that's pretty special, and I think in order to keep up with that, it's valuable in learning from your peers and paying attention to your peers' work. And the best way to learn from other people is to consume free educational content on YouTube.
Katens is wondering if they could see a 360.
Oh yeah. So we're working on it here. I gotta make sure that this is in frame. So we have the tip of the ear up here with the Merlot, and then this piece that I already cut off is going to be a chunk of long fuchsia fur here that's gonna go boing and look fuzzy and fun. And then we have the fuchsia extending up the sides where you can see here. The inside is going to be that white minky. And then, oh, I don't want to crinkle your pattern, it's on the table. On the back, again, this section here has been cut off. It's the fuchsia piece. And then the tip of the ear extends onto the back side in the Merlot. And then this is your little white circle, and then the fuchsia circles around the back. Yeah.
That is quite the Spotify playlist, Pine for Thought. That is a random assortment of artists.
Perfect. Beautiful.
I actually last week, for the first time in my life, started scrolling through like different named Spotify playlists. Some of y'all got some issues, bro. Calm down. It's not that real. You're really screaming your heart out. I can't believe I didn't show you that. Yeah, I got some Spotify playlists to show you, and it really isn't much more than the title is just crazy. Like the titles of these playlists, man. Take deep breaths. Oh, that looks perfect. Again, I am really sorry about the confusion about the design.
It happens. I just really care that we're on the same page, and that's what counts. You paid a lot of money for animal costume, and I want to make sure it's right for you.
I do not want Spotify to tell me, do you want to listen to indie funk, skateboard, pop, fairycore anymore? I'm sick of it. I know exactly what you're talking about. But
What?
as somebody that was a little music nerd, as genres do like get into more specific and niche areas, we do create subgenres, and it's only a matter of time before those subgenres are going to be mixing with other subgenres, and it's like, I think it's inevitable to have these like crazy name genres, but
I wish that they would stop.
I wish, yeah, it could be like rock music. That was easy. I knew what that meant.
Right? It's like, I feel like people ask me like what my favorite genre is, and I'm not able to identify that because there are so many like genres inside of genre. I like music. And if I like it, I will listen to it. And if I do not like it, I will not listen to it. I think my one thing that I absolutely do not like is sad music. I do not like sad music
I
so
love
much.
myself some sad.
But like specifically sad music where the music sounds sad, not necessarily like the lyrics.
Okay, yeah, I think
Right?
sad songs that are more like kind of fun or cooler, personally.
Yeah,
But-
yeah. No, I think my
Let me yell. At
personal vibes really reflects off of the music I'm listening to, and if I listen to sad music, I will feel really sad, and I don't like feeling sad.
Rye says, "Sup, losers."
What's up?
Sup, fam. Pocky says, "Thank you so much for the duct tape dummy tutorial. I can make my fursuit body now." Oh yeah, absolutely. I'm glad you're getting some value out of our tutorial videos.
The Dragon Queen asks, would you be willing to take in a finished base and be paid to finish furring a head, maybe ears? I no longer work on bases by other people except for like the occasional pre-made project. It's just a personal preference thing. I've worked on other people's bases in the past. I've had good experiences, I've had bad experiences, but I just prefer to work on my own stuff, and as kind of my style develops more, I want my work to really primarily reflect what my work looks like, and I think a base and base shapes are a very integral part of style, and so I would rather just make stuff on my own bases.
Hello, Ashlyn. Welcome to the party. Eva says, "What kind of fur do you use?"
We use a variety of different types of fur. We use a lot of luxury shag. We use a lot of teddy, and we use a lot of
Beaver.
fox. We use beaver.
Mongolian.
Yeah, there is
Gorilla.
so many different types of fur that we use.
But if you're talking about where do we get our fur from, like what brand of fur do we use? We use a lot of Howl and Big Z primarily.
Slow peel, like a banana.
What are you working on? We're working on The homie cadenza.
Yeah, right now I am working on, I patterned the ear all morning. I worked on doing the little duct tape pattern for the ear because it's a bunch of like teeny tiny pieces. And so I patterned the ear this morning, and now I'm finally getting to the point where I am cutting out and flattening the pattern. And then after that, I get to cut everything out of fur and then re-sew it. And right now, Dylan is working on a bunch of eye blanks because we had a bunch of raw 3D prints and we needed to go in and detail them.
What are your thoughts on pre-made fursuit parts? I ended up buying some pre-made fursuit leg padding off Etsy and was thinking on using out my personal bodysuit. Hey, whatever you enjoy. Yeah, if you find success with it and you like the way it looks, that's what matters. It's really that. I've never heard of that before. That's new to me. So I really love the fursuits you make, and I have made foam bases before, but I can't ever seem to get the feline look I keep seeing on the internet. Do you have any tips?
Honestly, I would spend a lot of time examining the shapes that you like and do a lot of sketching to see if you can replicate those shapes in any way, and pay attention to like what specifically is standing out about said shapes.
I don't like sad music either. What, like, oh, buy two Noise Tripper? I don't know those artists. I don't know is that genres, artists? What are we talking about? Cadenza says, I'm going to go back to work and let you cook on making cadenza. Have a lovely day at work.
Yeah, have a great day
Don't
at
work
work.
too hard.
Have fun, or suffer the most minimal amount possible. However your workplace is, do your best.
Galanoth DS asks, do foam bases require a head strap?
Not necessarily. We do ours with a head strap because that's just how we like to do them. A lot of people will do buckets. A lot of people will do just a balaclava internally. It is really maker to maker personal preference.
Hi, wanted to reach out for some advice, says Baka Pumpkin. That's a great name. I've been trying to estimate how much fur I should... Baka Pumpkin.
That's
awesome.
fox.
Yeah, so good. I've been trying to estimate how much fur I should buy, and it's been going back and forth. I'm sure that meme wasn't meant to be there. A video on how you estimate the yards for a project would be super helpful. I'm struggling to find information on it. Thank you. Hope to see you again at the next convention. You're awesome.
What project are you doing? I can probably help you estimate right now. I always, when I buy fur for any sort of project, I also will ensure that I get slightly more than I believe that I need, so I can have oopsie fabric, where I have like extra fabric to ensure that if I make a significant oopsie, it's not detrimental.
Okay, all music artists. Okay. Are those artists you like? Is that what you were getting at? Is that what you were saying? I'll check them out sometime. I love finding the new music.
Yeah, with this EVA foam, I don't know why, but it just really loves to stick to that duct tape. The way we gotta do it is taping and then very rapidly like taking the pattern off. Because if we leave it, it's a bitch and a half. It's a bitch and a half when we don't leave it.
Mm-hmm.
The longer we leave it, the fucking harder it is.
I'm going to be trying to make a full suit with wings and a large dragon tail.
That goes hard. I'm excited for you. I hope we get to see it when you're done.
How much yardage of fur do you think they would need? If you had to estimate.
Oh shit, what did you say?
Full suit, wings, large dragon tail.
Large dragon tail. How tall are you? And when you say large tail, do you mean like floor dragging tail? What do you mean when you say large tail? Like how many feet long is your tail gonna be? It's gonna be like 5 feet long? Is large tail 2 feet long? What does that mean to you? Hear me out. Mustard and apple slices on chocolate donuts. I will not hear you out on that.
I will.
Shut up, Darby. Stop it. We're not hearing this person out on that. That's a terrible decision. Don't influence Darby. You're a bad influence on Darby.
I've eaten worse.
Don't say that.
That's the problem.
Some people's kids, you know?
Last question. What places you recommend for fur? Howl and Big Z. You've already got them. Those are the two that I most highly recommend. I also believe, like, I shop at Fursuit supplies on occasion a few times a year, and while they do have very, very like good quality fur, they have very unique colors too. I only shop with them if I need a unique color that only they have. But the issue I've found with Fursuit supplies is because they're a small company, their stocking is a little inconsistent, and they will often do runs of fur that they will not bring back for like a very, very long time, which makes it difficult. So I only try to shop from Fursuit supplies if I really need to.
I'm 5'4", and I want a floor dragger tail, so like 3, maybe 4 feet long.
Yeah, I'd probably say 4 to 4.5. I think even 5 feet could give you a very comfortable floor dragger tail. Because keep in mind, like I'm also 5. Did they say 5'3"?
5'4".
5'4". I'm 5'3", and from where my tail would sit on my belt to the floor is about 3 feet long. And so keep in mind that it'd be 3 feet from my belt to the floor, plus the distance that you'd want it to drag behind you. And so my floor dragger tails for someone proportionally my size tends to be like about 5 feet. So you may want it a bit longer, but again, pattern it out beforehand if you're really like needing a better visual than just like your paper pattern. Sew it out of muslin. But as far as yardage for a project like that, this is harder for me to do without seeing a reference sheet. I feel so bad for dragging you along. What I would like you to do, and I can give you a better answer this way, I would recommend joining our Discord and
Hit us up.
Hit us up in our Discord. It's discord.gg/spiltgrapesoda. There's also a link in our bio on our social media and stuff. That is the best way to get in contact with me, and if I'm able to like see the color layout of your character, I'll be able to better help estimate how much fur you'll need. But from what I have, if you're not doing like super chunky digi, just a very standard bordering on slimmer digi, probably about 7 or 8 yards depending on how those wings look. I'd say 8 over 7, and if you're gonna order 8 yards, quite frankly, I'd order 10, because that gives you space for oopsie. Fur's expensive, what the flip. I'm probably getting a bit much though, so it's fine. Yeah, no, fur is a expensive fabric. It is definitely one of the more expensive fabrics to purchase, especially when you start getting like into nicer furs. Like, I love Big Z fur, don't get me wrong. It has its place, it has its application. It is on the cheaper side. More recently, one thing I love about Big Z is they are incredibly receptive to their customer base. And so over the last year or so, they've been going through and upgrading all of their Eco Shag, which is their most popular fur line. They've been going through and upgrading the pile on their Eco Shag and on their, like, I think they call it short shag. They either call it short shag or half shag. And they've upgraded the pile there as well to make it higher quality. So I really love that aspect about Big Z fabric, but you need to keep in mind they are a more budget fur. And so it's not going to be comparable to the fur you're going to purchase from Howl fabric. I believe, gosh, Big Z yardage is, what, $24 a yard for Big Z? I think so. And Howl fabric tends to be upwards of $30 a yard. And for the most part, the quality difference is notable. Man, if you're gonna leave me hate comments, at least make them funny.
Be original. Thank you. I will join the Discord.
I wonder if
Baka
my fur
pumpkin
got upgraded
impact.
then. It depends when you built your project and what fur was used. Gosh, because I'm trying to remember the exact dates. I want to say it was earlier last summer, like June, May, June, was when they started introducing the new fur type, and then from there it's been like the new furs have been intermittently like cycled in, like they didn't upgrade all of their piles, all of their colors at once. It's been a handful here and there. If you were 2021, it was their old style of fur, and even then I don't think all of their colors have been upgraded to the new pile, because they moved into like 100% Japanese acrylic, which is different from what they were like originally using, and I really, really like it. It is softer, it is denser, it has like a really funky like two fur kind of pile thing going on. I love it, it's beautiful. But even then, it's not comparable to the teddy and the fox that you'll get from Howl. The luxury shag from Howl is a little funky. So the colors, if you can find a luxury shag that has a matching teddy or fox fur to it, because their fox and teddy lines are ones that they've produced, right? And if you can find a luxury shag that matches one of their produced colors in fox or teddy, that is a luxury shag that they commissioned to be produced, right? And they have a few other luxury shags that don't have matching teddies or foxes that are ones that they commissioned to be produced that are higher quality. But some of their more generic colors, like if you find luxury shag colors that appear to be a one-to-one match to like Big Z's site, because Big Z has a few like colors that are standard colors. A lot of those colors that are more popular, standard, original luxury shag colors tend to be sourced from a company called Shannon Fabrics, and I am Shannon Fabrics' biggest hater. I think their luxury shag is dog shit. I really hate it.
I know who we won't be getting sponsors from.
Yeah, not Shannon Fabric. Shannon Fabric, don't sponsor me, actually. But yeah, so their Shannon Fabric furs just are not any good, which is really unfortunate. And there are exceptions to the color matching rule. Like their charcoal luxury shag, I believe is a Shannon sourced fur, and it is super thin. I do not like it. I will source my charcoal luxury shag from Big Z before I'll source it from Howl. So there's a lot of like intricacies that you don't figure out until you've like been in the weeds of fursuit making for a few years, that are really difficult to explain to like little like baby first time fursuit maker. But yeah, that's how it is.
In making a deer fursuit, I just can't figure out how to get the duct tape dummy onto fabric to look right. Any suggestions?
The duct tape.
Are you trying to like cut out the pattern pieces from the duct tape dummy and putting it on the fur and it's not laying correctly?
Like it's not like laying flat, like it's wrinkly? I pump up the contrast a lot, says Z. The purple on Z is a pretty rare color-wise. It's almost dusty in the photos, but vibrant in person. Are you talking about your primary purple? I believe that is grape. I believe that Z's purple is grape from Big Z. That's what it looks like to me. And I do have that fur, I think in the office, unless we used it all, which very well may be the case. But no, that is like very bright in person, super saturated. Your room looks like a heavenly place. It is very cozy.
It's a nice spot.
Alright, I gotta peel this baby like a banana.
Pine for Thought says anything but Hobby Lobby doll.
Anything but Hobby Lobby.
And Boost Fox says try ordering fur from Australia. No matter where you order from, it'll be expensive.
Yeah, I feel I mourn on behalf of fursuit makers that are not in like the continental US, because while most furs, like all furs. I don't think we produce fur textiles in the United States, but the primary distributors for those textiles are US based. Stuff Big Z, Howell, Fursuit Supplies. All of these large retailers are US based. And so if you're buying these furs outside of the United States, shipping is gonna bite you in the ass. The only other places that I think have really quality fur are some like niche shops on like Alibaba. But you have to know what the hell you're looking for. If you don't know what you're looking for, you're gonna get screwed, right? Or maybe, is it AliExpress? AliExpress is the non-commercial-y one. AliExpress, Linda Wholesale has some really good furs.
Question: I've never really been the best at drawing out furries, yet I would really like to make a ref sheet. What would you say are the key parts for a ref sheet for a commissionee that they would need?
Ooh, I think my best tip for a ref sheet is do not shade it, because we as artists need to see the actual colors of your character, and shading will change those colors. You need to be able to show, I recommend, if your character is symmetrical, which means it's the same on both sides, I would recommend doing a 3-sided reference, back, front, and then side view. Don't forget to show off what color the tongue is. Don't forget to show off what color the toe beans are on both the hands and the feet paws. If your character has long hair that would otherwise obscure what's happening, like marking-wise under the hair, have a little headshot where it is bald and does not have hair, so you can see the markings under the hair. And if your tail is really, really big and is like gonna obscure the markings on the back of the character or on the back of the legs of the character, I would recommend having a shot, like when you do the back drawing, cut off the tail and like don't draw the tail on the back, and note that you're not drawing the tail, and then have a separate drawing of the tail, so that way that you can see the markings under it. Those are the main things that I notice when I get like reference sheets in that give me half-baked information. But yeah, I'm sure there's other things that I'm forgetting, but those are the main ones. Z says, I made a template for Fursuit friendly refs a bit ago. It's free to use. Hell yeah.
That's
So
awesome.
if you are in the need of a Fursuit friendly reference sheet template, go check out Z the Raccoon. Where is it? Where can they download it, my friend? Is it on your YouTube? Can they find like a video or something on your YouTube? Also, if the eyes have certain details or little details, try to include it. It makes it easier to see. Yeah, anything that's like super small or like really detailed that you care deeply about, make like a zoomed up version of that and be like, and here is this in its immaculate detail. Are you a furry? I'm a furry, but actually most of my staff are not furries. Peely, peely, peel.
So happy to catch on the stream. Hope you all in chat are doing well. Thank you so much, Bulbasaur. Hope you're doing well. Do you guys own a sewing machine? Oh yeah.
We have a
few
couple of them.
those, Yeah.
We've got a Janome Memory Craft 6650. We have a FAF Expression 710. We have 2 FAF Creative Icons. We have the Creative Icon 1 and the Creative Icon 2. Both are really, really great machines. They are swappable embroidery to sewing machines, so depending on what we need, we can switch them. And then we also have a Baby Lock Acclaim, which is an overlocking machine or a serger, whatever you want to call it. But we only ever break that out when we're doing bodysuits.
Thank you. I'll look into it. Keep up the work. Yeah, absolutely.
Do you bark? Only when frightened. Z says human beings are animals. I don't know how to tell you this. You know what? Not everyone is able to pass, like, 5th grade science, and I think we need to be a little more open in our hearts to people who are unable to do that.
Yeah, like education isn't as easily accessible
Hey.
everywhere. All the education ain't the same.
What?
You know?
It's like you have all the knowledge in the world in your pocket or something?
Yeah,
What?
like you had access
You
to
joking?
the internet or something,
Yeah,
where you could
the
just look up
internet.
things that you don't know.
We can't expect people to,
That's
like, know
cringe.
stuff.
Yeah, come on.
I think I was born in the right century. I'm so glad that I have, like, the ability to learn whatever the hell I want to learn, like, directly in my pocket. I spent the other day, when we were in the office, I think it was like a really quiet day and we're all kind of just minding our business and doing our thing. It's like, I spent the whole day just, like, learning about, like, gardening and, like, drip irrigation and how to, like, create, like, well-balanced soil and shit. Do you know how, like, all the shit you'd have to go through to figure that out without the internet? And even if you went through all the shit to find out that information, go to the library, you know, talk to other people who are, like, gardeners and are really, like, into that, you would still come out with less information than you could find on the internet right now. It's like, dude, that's so cool.
Mm-hmm.
I love technology.
Yeah, and it's that same technology that allows us to, like, have really important conversations on Signal and accidentally add editors-in-chief into those group chats, you know? And
Hey,
yeah, and it's sick,
everybody's
you know?
had
I
a
love
moment
that.
where
Like,
they've talked about highly classified information and accidentally added a journalist to their war plans chat. Everybody's been there.
I don't know if the name's needed or not, so I won't say it, but I think there's a Discord server that kind of had a similar situation, and I'm pretty sure he got arrested. So, but what do I know?
Hey, not everybody can have equal punishment in this game.
Well, yeah,
Z
'cause-
says that their reference sheet template is a free download on their site. If you search up Z the Raccoon ref template on Google, it comes up. There you go, chat. If you need a free fursuit friendly reference template, Z the Raccoon ref template, search it on Google. It is on their website.
Oh, Goose, the person I was asking about the duct tape dummy parts, they said, no, it's not that it's not laying flat, it's that I used a test fabric and it is warped and doesn't fit. So I was wondering if you had any tips.
That is, like, it's so tricky because my immediate, like, reaction to, like, what is wrong if your piece doesn't fit is that you probably didn't trace it correctly, and it's likely because your pattern isn't laying flat or it's, like, warped for some reason. But it's so hard for me to tell without, like, physically, like, being there and seeing it and, like, touching it. There could be a myriad of reasons why it's wrong. Your pattern initially was incorrect. Your sewing kind of shifted the pattern. You didn't add, like, seam allowance and compensate for said seam allowance. You could have added too much seam allowance. You could have added not enough seam allowance. Could have sewn your seam allowance improperly. Yeah, there is just so many reasons why that could be the case. It's really hard for me to be able to remotely diagnose such things without pictures. I apologize. But again, if you would like to give me a better shot at trying to diagnose your issue, I would highly recommend hopping into our Discord and sharing some photos of it so I can take a better peep, and other artists can also take a peep and give their take.
Anytime, Goose. Anytime. I got worried for a second because I always mute the iPad user over here to look at chat. Just the entire stream, it hasn't popped up once. But now that we're 6 minutes before ending, it said, "Hey, your mic is muted." And I was like, what?
Nice tat, thank you! I love tattoos. I think they're so much fun.
Ooh, also, with that being said, 6 minutes. 6 minutes.
6 minutes, oh my gosh. This stream kind of flew by.
Yeah. Kind of crazy.
It was a really good one, though.
Yeah. I don't think we've dropped below 25 over on the Twitch YouTube side. It's gotten closer to 40. And we can play a fun game and figure out, will these gauges break when I try to screw them in?
Maybe, I don't know. That's so strange. I think we should run them on a different printer.
Yeah.
I don't know why that is.
Try it, because it's the second you get to, like, that first initial tight turn, and it twists a little bit, and then you go, and it breaks. It's just the weirdest feeling, dude. go let Darby know real quick.
Yeah.
Yeah, see?
I'm not sure why that's happening. Yeah. It looks
Very
like
strange.
maybe it's under filling. I'm not sure. Did you increase the flow?
Yep. I went from 70 to 74. I'm
Bring
gonna,
it up to 80.
and then try it again.
Yeah, what's the worst thing that could happen? Do you all share the income
Darby,
equally based on
could you
commission?
they
And
broke
what
again.
do you make?
You need another 1-inch
I am not
gauge on
going
there
to
and
answer
increase the
what
flow to
I
80.
or my employees make because that's their business and that's my business. But we do hourly rate, just like most companies
see
do,
tomorrow.
just like most
Yeah.
businesses do. I'm on salary because if I got paid hourly, it would get wild because I work a lot of overtime and I don't want to have to deal with that. So I get a base salary rate that's about it equals out to probably about the same as my employees do, but they get paid hourly because if we were to split it up by like individual project, there would be stuff that they simply would not get paid for, right? It's like, hey Dylan, can you spend the next week filming and editing a YouTube video? And it's like there's no upfront money to that. And so he just wouldn't get paid for something like that. It's like, hey, Darby and Lauren, can we like clean the office today? There's no money being made from cleaning the office, and so they just wouldn't get paid, right? And so doing a project-based like income system for my employees just wouldn't super make sense because it would suck if Dylan didn't get paid for filming and editing a YouTube video. And then it's like, well, no, you're gonna get paid because we'll split the income. From the YouTube.
Yeah,
right?
and it's like,
so
oh,
our
cool.
YouTube
we
makes
made $25.
$25 on this video this month, and I'm the boss, so I'll take 50 of that, and then you can get the other 50%. And so Dylan would make like $12.50 for like a week
whole bunch
worth
of editing
work,
and...
but like later. Right, so it just makes way more sense to have an hourly pay structure. It ensures that everyone is getting compensated for the work that they do at all times, regardless of what that work is.
Yeah, and also it's like, there are absolutely things we do where it's like it doesn't make money, but there's also things that we just, it's more important for Sarah to be spending time on the Fursuit heads and stuff like that, and patterning and all these things. It's like, yeah, if we have to clean the office or take out the trash or anything like that, it's like, well, if I wasn't going to get compensated, why would I come into work to take out trashes? You know what I'm saying? So I wouldn't come into work, which means Sarah would have to take out the trashes instead of working on Fursuit heads when the trashes get full. And then that slows down their process. That stops them from doing what they do. I feel like it's just a lot easier from a boss-employee perspective where it's like, hey, can you take out the trash? It's like, I'm getting paid right now. Yes, that's my job. I'll go take out the trash. If there was no money behind it, I'd laugh at you. I'd go, huh, I'm not no garbage man for free.
Right?
Like,
it's like, I'm going to work on stuff that like is actually making money
I'm just only going to cast bases, actually. And I want 70%.
Yeah, no, that is a common question we get asked though. And I think a lot of people do believe that we just kind of split the profit for every like piece that we make. But no, it is an hourly rate.
I get paid the same way you probably do.
Yeah. What types of fursuits do you make? I've been thinking about commissioning someone to make my half bunny, or no, to make my bunny fursona. It was one of two because it was two separate messages. I was like, you're half bunny, what's the other half? So we specialize in toonie style fursuits, but we do all sorts of creatures. I just recently made a couple of bunnies and had a super fun time. But
it was like our best suits.
Yeah, Dylan likes the bunnies a lot. I think they're pretty damn cute. But yeah, no, we specialize in toonie projects, so we don't really do like anything realistic or anything like that. Well, is it just being static again?
Oh yeah, you like that jam? You
Yeah,
guys
that's
rocking
a
out
sick
to that
jam.
stuff?
It just,
ooh yeah.
It just kind of like does wild music sometimes
I think
that is bad.
just cut out. I thought it froze for a sec too. You guys liking the jam?
That's
You want me
ass.
to keep it going?
Hi, Pumpkin the Duchy. Welcome to the party. Chuckling at
boring.
half bunny. I was like, one of two. Half bunny, half what? Huh? What's the other half of the bunny? You had me for a second there.
Well, it's like the static was there to let me know it's 4:30.
It is 4:30. That is the
that
end of our
time.
stream. I super appreciate everyone for coming and hanging out with us. We always have so much fun on Wednesdays. I really love this new stream structure. New, and it's like not super new anymore. But our newer structure of streaming once a week and having scheduled streams, it helps us be predictable and lets us know, or lets you guys know when you can come hang out with us, and also helps us like schedule our weeks out better. This is a blast. We stream every single Wednesday, unless other things impede on that. But we stream every Wednesday from 2:30 to 4:30 Pacific Standard Time. It's been so real. I hope to see you guys next week. And if you'd like to hang out with us in the meantime, I highly recommend joining our Discord. That's going to be linked in the bio of our social media. But if you just want to pull us up, it is discord.gg/spiltgrapesoda, all one word. It's been real. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your Wednesday, and a great rest of your week. And we'll see you next week. Mwah.
For the last thing, anybody that's not watching on Twitch, and you want us to come surprise another streamer with us, we're gonna go do a Twitch raid. So if you're on TikTok or YouTube, come join us at Spilt Grape Soda on Twitch. And that being said, we're gonna turn off the TikTok stream and go find out what channel we're gonna raid.
Perfect. See you, TikTok.
Bye, TikTok. Exactly.
That was a super
All
good
right,
stream.
TikTok's out of here, guys. Finally, we got the cool kids back. Who are we? Whoa. That looks like pretty solid art.
Gotta make sure it's like
yeah,
appropriate.
we're trying to make. It says cozy English VTuber. They look like they make cool art. Looks like a furry-ish photo. Maybe D&D adjacent.
I'm just concerned about the title of that one. I feel like maybe that is
There's like
adulty.
chibi
That's kind
art
of
stuff
cute.
here.
That looks like
12
fun.
hours. Art jam, one prompt, everyone draws. And art jam's kind of cool. I don't know who Ben Glassman is. Oh, by the way, guys, we're gonna
This
go
is a
raid
random
rando.
person.
If this person is
Whack.
a weirdo,
Not responsible.
Yeah, that's not on us, guys.
responsible.
hmm.
I do like that top chibi one with all the little
This
doodles.
seems really
I feel
cute.
like
They
that
seem cool.
seems right to me.
Yeah. All right, guys, you guys ready?
All right, we're
doing
sending
honey
you over.
lemon daisy. We're sending you over.
All right, later, skaters.
Have fun, guys.
All right.
All right. People are joining in. 10 seconds or so. We're gonna send that over. Everyone, pile in, pile in, pile in.
Get in there. Be nice to them.
Yeah.
It'll be so
Make
fun.
us look good. Okay. More people can pile in. Is anybody else pile in? We got 5 in here. Is that it?
Here we go.
3, 2, 1.
Bye.